Jumping. We human beings love the idea of jumping. Jumping is an art form. Jumping is such a powerful force in the world that every 4 years, countries who have hated each other since the dinosaurs walked the earth get together to see who can jump the best. Some of our most elite jumpers have been paid hundreds of millions of dollars, and jumping has given us some of the most important video games of all time. Pitfall on the Atari, Super Mario Bros. On the NES, Super Mario 64. Heck, what most people say was the greatest game of the 2010s had an incredible jump. Which brings us to our topic today, a nearly perfect game, Ice Climber. One of the first NES games to offer simultaneous co-op, it has fun and creative enemy mechanics, charming combat, cool level designs, and it's some of the best gameplay the NES has to offer. I love this game. I love its characters. I love it how you can completely mess up and kill whoever you're playing with. It's just a blast. And it's amazing how much fun this game can still be, even though it's 40 years old. I could sing this game's praises forever. The way I see it, it only has one flaw. This game about jumping has the worst jumping I think I have ever seen in a video game. A little bit of background first. This game was released in 1985 on Nintendo's Versus arcade system and later on the NES. It falls into the pre-Super Mario Bros. Era of development, and as a result, the difficulty in this game comes from the controls rather than the level or enemy design. See, Super Mario Bros. Would demonstrate that easy controls in hard environments were usually more fun than hard controls in simple environments, and Ice Climber definitely demonstrates this concept. While we're on the topic of Super Mario Bros., the main developers of Ice Climber have gone on to say they consider this game to be a warm-up for them before they started developing Mario. Also like Super Mario Bros., Ice Climber was a launch title in the US and even a pack-in for some European countries. It's hard to find which exact countries online, but it seems that it was certainly bundled with systems in Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, Austria, Switzerland, and West Germany. Not East Germany, though. A quick fascinating tangent. For the website Distant Arcade, Western countries actually banned the selling of our high-tech video game systems into the Soviet bloc countries, and the East German secret police, the Stasi, didn't like the importation of Western software as they feared it would contain Western propaganda. Now, as for the game itself, this isn't actually my first time playing Ice Climber. It's one of the few NES games I've played quite a lot. I, like most people, was introduced to the Ice Climbers via Smash Bros. I love their design and partner mechanics, so when I found out this game had 2-player co-op, I fired it up on the Switch Online app, and my wife and I had a fun time playing together. I never played this game single player though, I always played it co-op with my wife. This video is the first time I've really sat down with this game by myself for more than 5 minutes, and it's just painfully frustrating. Real quick, here are all the problems with this game. As stated previously, this jump is the worst feeling jump in any video game I've ever played. I could probably jump better than this in real life. Next, why do you fall through the corners of these platforms? Why when you hit a wall are you immediately bounced backwards? Why does the orange condor at the top of the mountain sometimes decide I lose for no reason by just not flying by me? Why can't I just get comboed to death 5 times before I can move out of the way? Now, all this makes the game sound very not fun, and in single player, it simply isn't. So why do I still like this game a lot? Because some of these things actually make the co-op more fun. The horrible jump controls make for a hilarious time when you watch whoever you're playing with struggle to get up the simplest of platforms. Falling through the corners of platforms stinks when it happens to you, but it's funny when it happens to someone else. The weird mechanic where you ricochet off walls, that can also happen when you bump into another player, so you can use this to mess them up. The multiplayer has the same energy as playing New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and just throwing your partner into a hole.
Time.
If you climb up a lot higher than them, the screen moves up and they die. If you make it to the summit before they're close, they don't even get to attempt the bonus round, they just disappear. It's awesome. Even if you decide to play it seriously and work together, there's still a lot of fun to be had. You'll laugh when you accidentally kill each other, and it's fun to actually strategize your jumping on the ledges and how you can help each other make it up. It's a solid time, at least in the earlier levels. In the later, more difficult levels, it becomes increasingly hard to look past the flaws of this game, and that's usually when we decide to stop playing. Also, if one of you loses all your lives, the other person has to die on purpose so you can go back to the menu and play together again. It's pointless to not allow you to refill your lives after a stage, as you can choose any stage from the menu at any time. It just makes it more cumbersome having to die on purpose first in order to play co-op again. It had to be like this in order to keep track of your high score, but I think a setting that turned off the scoring system to allow this, or even an option to share stocks between players, would have been a great improvement. And stuff like this is what makes Ice Climbers so heartbreaking. I honestly think this could have been one of the best NES games of all time if they just fixed a few things. If they copy-pasted the Super Mario Bros. Jump mechanics, learned how ledges worked, and provided more options for the co-op live system, I think this game would have been perfect. It's so sad to see everyone online clown on this game and call it terrible. I've never heard any YouTubers say anything nice about this game, and I don't think that's entirely fair, as this can still be fun. There's no denying some of the core mechanics make enjoying it very hard sometimes, though. To make matters worse, this is it for the Ice Climbers in terms of getting their own games, unless you count the arcade version. The arcade version has more content and slight enemy differences, and I haven't played it myself, but from what I've heard, it still has the same control flaws. This is one of the few first-party NES games of this type not to receive a sequel. They didn't even get a weird Game Boy spin-off. Even Balloon Kid got a weird Game Boy spin-off. Why not Ice Climber? Instead, they've just been relegated to some cameos in other games. When the Ice Climbers were cut from Smash for Wii U and 3DS, the creator of Smash mentioned they had been a low-priority character as they were viewed as unlikely to have more games in the series. And that's the last we've really heard about a potential new Ice Climber game. I still think that because of their success in Smash, there's always a possibility for a sequel, however unlikely. People love these characters, and Kid Icarus was in a similar position before getting revived. I could totally see an indie developer working with Nintendo to create some sort of co-op platformer using the IP. Hopefully that day comes soon. But until then, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.